The movie begins with Christine and Groombauer running across a field, hurrying to the man's home as his wife Anne is in labor. When they reach the house, Christine, a midwife, rushes to tend to the mother while instructing her confused older daughter, Cotty, to help. Soon, a baby girl is born. In the morning, Christine prepares to leave. When Groombauer scolds his older daughter for standing around, Christine comments that Cotty would have been normal if she had been born with a midwife's help. She then returns to her family home where she greets her sister, Maria, whom she notices is also pregnant. Soon, Maria's husband, Jakob, and their father arrive, surprised that Christine has returned. Elsewhere, Commander Hans struggles to sleep, haunted by dreams of their king's death. That afternoon, Maria insists that Christine stay and find a husband. However, Christine prefers traveling, as more women outside their village need her help. Suddenly, Hans and his knights from the kingdom arrive. Seeing them, Maria hurries inside as if afraid. Christine pretends to fetch water from the well as she observes the men. A procession follows behind them, but the men stumble and drop the Holy Mother's statue. Christine hurries to help, but the priest, Father Simon, pulls her away. Still, Hans notices her and blames her for distracting the men. When the procession reaches the castle, Hans reminds the people that they built it to protect Christianity and their village. As Father Simon blesses the castle, the villagers present their tithe. However, Hans, struggling against the sun's heat, orders them to plant 100 trees along the road for shade. Christine's father argues that they have already missed 2 harvests to build the castle and begs the knights to delay the task until after the next harvest. However, Hans asserts that they risk their lives to protect the village and demands the trees be planted within 30 days, or there will be bloodshed. Afterward, the knights toss the villagers' offerings aside, feeding the food that could have sustained their families to the dogs. That evening, the men complain that they have been unable to harvest food. Christine's father insists they fight Hans' army, as his order is impossible and will only get them killed. Fighting, he argues, would at least give them a fair chance. Christine and a few men agree, but most are afraid and resolve to attempt the impossible task. Suddenly, a man in a carriage passes by. He offers his help, claiming to be a cart-riding carter. However, the villagers doubt he can build carts strong enough to haul 100 mature trees from the hill. Still, the carter asserts that he can do it, for the right price. As Christine listens to him, she hears a strange echo in his voice. Groombauer ridicules his carriage, and the carter joins in, then suddenly asks if they are also laughing at Groombauer's confused daughter. The villagers stop, confused as to how he knew about Cotty. The carter then declares that he will give them 3 days to consider his offer. Later that night, Christine sees her father, still worried about their village. He notes that Christine is courageous like her mother, but insists her courage is useless since it won't satisfy the knights. He tells her to leave the village to save herself, but Christine insists on staying with her family. She asks about her mother, but her father merely reminds her that his wife died giving birth to her. The following day, the village men begin digging up trees from the hill. However, the first tree they attempt to remove breaks their pulley, causing it to fall on Christine's father, killing him. As they mourn, Christine advises her family to mend what is broken and move on. Meanwhile, Father Simon confronts Hans, noting that the villagers are lost without their leader. He asks Hans to retract his order, but Hans refuses. The priest berates him for building a castle for his own ego, but Hans insists that 100 trees shading the castle's road will be a majestic sight, immortalizing his name. Father Simon warns that such things will not matter when something else owns his soul. 3 days later, the men struggle to transport the trees across the hill. Suddenly, Hans' right-hand man, Victor, arrives and begins lashing the men for their poor work. Christine defends them, and Victor grabs her but ultimately leaves, ordering them to continue. Afterward, Jakob complains that they should have taken the carter's offer, but Groombauer thinks the man is sinister. Still, he admits that the carter could have helped. With that, Christine heads up the hill to meet the carter. The man immediately offers his sympathy for her loss, but then adds that her father was wrong. She did not kill her mother. Their midwife had been foolish not to realize that her mother had another child inside her. Christine is convinced that if she had been her mother's midwife, she would have survived. She admits that she sometimes wished she had died instead, but the carter tells her that her mother's sacrifice is why she must save lives now. Given everything he knows, Christine realizes that the carter is actually the devil, and he wants an unchristened child as payment for saving their village. The carter does not deny it, though he offers to bring 20 trees and plant them along the road himself. Desperate, Christine agrees. The devil demands a kiss to seal the deal, but Christine evades his lips, so he kisses her on the cheek instead. With that, the devil disappears. Christine wakes up in a field the next morning and hurries home. Maria wonders where she has been, but Christine notes that she feels strange. Her vision is clearer, and her body feels hot. She reassures her sister that all will be well and plans to bring food to the men. She also reminds Maria to tell Jakob about her pregnancy. Suddenly, Maria walks away and Christine follows her. Maria confesses that she does not want the baby, and Christine realizes that Jakob is not the father. Maria then reveals the truth. She was called into the castle to satisfy Hans' desires, making him the child's father. Days later, Hans and his knights return, shocked to see that 20 trees are already shading the road. Meanwhile, Christine notices a strange mark on her cheek where the devil kissed her. She starts to experience unnatural urges, particularly toward newborns. As the days pass, the villagers celebrate their success, but Christine remains on edge. Eventually, she confesses to Father Simon, who is appalled. He reminds her that the devil will want an unchristened child and refuses to help her, instead forbidding her from entering the church. Christine tries to warn the villagers, but they dismiss her concerns. She is soon cast out, forced to sleep in the barn. Over time, her mark worsens, resembling a moving spider. The devil's influence grows stronger. One night, Christine thrashes as the devil takes control of her body. The villagers restrain her, and as a baby is hastily christened, the devil's hold over her is broken. Christine wakes up the next morning, believing she is free. However, strange occurrences continue. Milk turns to blood and spiders infest the village. The villagers panic, slaughtering their livestock. Hans, furious, realizes that their shaded road was built with the devil's help. In retaliation, he threatens the villagers. Meanwhile, Father Simon holds a mass, while Christine, now fully aware of what she has done, searches desperately for the devil. Desperate, she offers herself as a reward instead, but he doesn't answer her. That night, Christine tells the villagers to burn the shaded roadway and kill the knights to forfeit their deal. However, the men simply blame her for bringing the curse upon them, so they chase her into the woods. The next day, Hans demands to see Christine, but no one knows where she is. Because of this, Jakob asks his wife where her sister is. Maria asserts that they wanted to make the deal too, so Jakob pulls her hair, claiming that he's protecting their family. Angered, Maria pushes him away, declaring that the child she's carrying isn't his. Jakob beats his wife, demanding to know who the father is, but she merely spits in his face. In an abandoned barn in the woods, Maria finds Christine. Noticing her bruises, Christine worries that her sister was beaten into revealing her location, but Maria assures her that she won't betray her. Maria has also changed her mind about her unborn child, as she has grown fond of it. However, Jakob and his friends arrive and capture Christine while Maria screams. Christine is soon chained in the castle's dungeon, where Hans asks her about the spiders and how the devil transported the trees. When she reveals that she doesn't know, Hans demands that the devil speak through her. However, in a demonic voice, Christine asserts that Hans was the one who brought the devil into their village, making him back off. He then considers giving the devil a child to rid themselves of him. But Christine reveals that the next baby to be born will be his and Maria's. Conflicted, Hans leaves while Christine returns to her senses. When he joins the others, Hans orders Victor to kill Christine. Father Simon warns that it won't end with her, so he offers another solution. The next day, Christine is forced to carry a heavy stone to the Holy Mother to prove that she is worthy of salvation. When she struggles, the men beat her, and the women pour mud on her. Still, Christine continues, encouraged by her sister. Soon, she reaches her destination, and the crowd quiets. The sun shines over her, so Father Simon blesses her. Hans even approaches and wipes the mud from her face. He declares that her accomplishment was a miracle, yet as he returns to his horse, it is suddenly covered in spiders. The horse panics, throws Hans off, and runs away. Because of this, he declares that saving the villagers isn't worth it anymore. He kills one man and takes Conrad's horse to flee back to the castle. That evening, Maria tends to her sister and offers to let her stay while she deals with her husband. Unbeknownst to them, the men decide that one child's life isn't worth risking the entire village. With that, Jakob suggests sacrificing his wife instead. The next day, Maria finds her sister attempting to hang herself in the barn. She quickly grabs an axe to save her, but Christine worries about Maria's child. To give her courage, Maria gives Christine their mother's rosary. Just then, Maria feels pain. She is going into labor. That evening, Christine helps her sister give birth. But the devil possesses her again. With no choice, Maria hits her over the head, refusing to let her child be taken. Meanwhile, Father Simon begs for forgiveness, as he has decided to abandon the village to save himself. Soon Maria gives birth alone. But as she holds the baby, the men come for it, excusing that it was conceived with a different man, therefore it can be sacrificed. The mother crawls weakly, begging for her son back. As the priest is about to leave, the villagers suddenly flock to the church to pray as the others prepare for the exchange. Meanwhile, Hans learns that they are sacrificing Maria's baby. When he hears that it is a boy, he reconsiders, but Conrad assures him that this will end the plague. At their home, Maria desperately wakes Christine. When Christine stirs, she suddenly chokes her sister, demanding to know where the child is. Maria reveals that Jakob took him, so Christine hurries to find them. While the men take the baby to the shaded road, Father Simon prays with the villagers. Christine catches up to the men, warning them that giving up the child will only be the beginning. Soon they will face more hardships and will consider sacrificing another to save themselves. However, the devil has arrived. With the men distracted, Christine moves to take the baby. Afraid, Jacob's friends flee while the devil reminds Christine of their agreement. He approaches her, promising that she will be free afterward. Maria then arrives, but Jakob stops her from retrieving her baby. As if in a trance, Christine places the baby at the devil's feet. He smiles, but she brandishes their mother's rosary and christens the child in front of him. Afterward, Christine collapses and twitches on the ground before the devil departs, disappointed. When Maria checks, Christine has disappeared. Instead, a large black spider crawls away and attacks Jakob, killing him. In the church, Father Simon tries to sneak away while everyone prays but sees the massive spider approaching. He dies, and the spider wreaks havoc in the church. The next day, Hans and his knights learn that most of the villagers have been killed by a spider, so the survivors barricade themselves in their homes. The knights also fortify the castle, but Victor refuses to hide like a coward and rides into the village. There he finds Kati tending to her sister while their parents have perished. Just then, the spider appears and kills him too. Days pass and the spider reaches the castle, killing Conrad. Thinking he is the only one left, Hans confesses that he is to blame for everything and begs for his suffering to end. As Hans screams, Maria tends to her children in her home. The spider soon arrives, and she hears Christine begging for help. This makes Maria realize that the spider is Christine. Sympathizing with her sister, Maria uncovers the hole in the post where Christine hides her medicine, telling her that it is her home. When Christine crawls inside, Maria covers the hole and hammers down a peg to seal it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.